Hey Google, what was my New Year's resolution?
Stay awesome and buy underwear.
Hi folks, happy holidays and happy new year. It's that time of season when everybody starts to set their New Year's resolutions. And I know some people don't really believe in setting New Year's resolutions, but New Year's resolutions is just another fancy way of saying goals. And I think goals are something that's actually pretty important for everyone to set. Now personally, I don't call them goals. I have to-do lists, and I have short-term to-do lists, and I have long-term to-do lists. So I have a to-do list for the day, for the year, 5 years, and for the next 10 years. Nowadays, it's so easy to lose track of time, whether you're mindlessly scrolling on the internet through social media pages, or you're just watching another episode on Netflix, or whatever it happens to be. I think setting these goals or writing down these to-do lists is important because it keeps us focused and on track. We always want to be growing. We don't ever want to become stagnant. So having these goals is going to allow us to continue to grow, to continue to learn new skills, try new things. And that's the whole point of this whole channel. It's something that's challenging me to keep trying new things and hopefully influencing you guys to try some new things for yourself as well. So anyways, we're gonna go over to my friend Kat's house for a little holiday get together. After that, I'm going to be doing my first sort of throwback Thursday. I'm gonna be showing a little video that I filmed, I don't know, like 3 or 4 years ago, probably even more maybe. A little bit of a darker time period in my life, and it just kind of shows you how quickly things can change, because while that video was a downer video, it flipped almost instantaneously, like almost just a couple months after I filmed that video. Pretty much everything in my life had changed. So you just want to keep going, don't be discouraged, keep trying, and hopefully the strategies that me and my friends are going to share with you guys is going to be something that might work for you. So anyways, I'll meet you over at my friend's place. See you in a bit. I'm with my friends Kat and Thomas.
Hi.
They are amazing musicians and educators and everything. Do you believe in the idea of having a New Year's resolution? How do you maintain focus on achieving them? Because you guys are kind of like me, where we always have a million projects going on at once, but you guys especially are really good at just carrying out a project all the way to the bitter end. And sometimes it is a bitter end.
Yeah. So I used to set New Year's resolutions when I was younger, and I think that if New Year's resolutions work for you, that's great. I think if that's the motivation that you need to sort of get started with something new, then I mean that's fantastic. But I don't necessarily think that you need that to achieve a goal. So like for me, it was a few years ago that I just sort of decided, okay, I'm not gonna make New Year's resolutions anymore because I don't need a new year to set a goal and to achieve something. So I just try to be really decisive about what I want to do, and I force myself to take a first step that I can't back out of. So for example, most recently, you guys both know that I did a live album, and for that was a huge undertaking, but I kind of had to force myself to take the first step. So the first step that I did, I knew that once I asked players to come on board, I couldn't really back out. I mean, I could, but it would be super embarrassing, and I'm too prideful. So I asked 3 of my favorite musicians if they would be willing to be a part of the project, and they said yes. And I sort of said, well, it's probably gonna happen sometime in November. So once I actually put the question out and asked, I knew that I couldn't back out. And I've done the same thing with other projects in the past, where I take that first step, and then once I've taken that first step, I can't back out. So that would be, I guess, my advice. Just take the first step and see it through.
You mentioned a lot of really cool things. Making a resolution is a decision. And you said that like where you actually just made a decision. So you use like your mind to actually make something. You're doing this other thing where you wanted to stay true to your word, which in itself is like, it's not a thing nowadays, because you can say anything online and it can just disappear or it can get buried. But if you say it and you actually follow it up with an action, then it's like your mind, your heart, and your body all have to do the same decision that you made. You called people and you're like, yeah, okay, well, this is the thing. I feel like you really don't need like a New Year's resolution to do that. If that really does help, honestly, great.
Yeah, if it motivates you,
yeah,
great.
But that's a trick for like the mind, right?
Yeah.
But it's the idea that you made a decision and you're following it through with some kind of action. Like if you do that, then you just find yourself in this kind of like automatic vehicle.
And you can do it anytime.
Yeah.
Because the new year is just another day, right?
It really
January
is.
1st is just another day.
So start today.
When you talk about action and that action kind of forced you to carry it through, I take the same sort of philosophy and I apply it to any skill that I'm trying to work on. So, for example, back when I was doing a lot of music stuff, I'm not a very good musician.
That's not true.
So I've been talking to you.
Oh, solid fuel and wires, turn the key and light the fire. Bittersweet and strange, finding you can change. Sharing scary things, and I've been losing sleep. I find it kinda sad. 2 jumps in a week, I bet you think that's pretty clever.
Love is an open door.
Guess it's true, I'm not good at a one-night stand. Waking up to ash and dust.
Well,
True.
okay, but I felt like I was just awful anyway. But I posted every single song that I did, whether I thought it was just awful or not. I shared it with absolutely everybody. And I think that was really important because what it does is it sets a precedent that everything that I do is going to be shared, and so I strove to become better.
Yeah.
Because I think when people want to try and improve on something and they just hide it all, you know, in their bedroom and they never kind of share it with other people, it becomes like you don't grow as much or as quickly because you feel like there's no repercussions whether you practice or not.
So true.
So my birthday is like right after New Year's. When I was about 10 or 11, I actually wrote a bucket list of 100 things I want to do. And basically every year on my birthday or New Year's between that time, I edit that. You know, because when you're like 10, you're like, I want a Dreamcast. And then you get a Dreamcast, and you're like, that's not a really good goal. So, so you edit it out, you change it. So I've had this like ongoing list of goals that I want to achieve in my life. And as you get older and your priorities change and you edit and change and realize, you know, what's important and what's not. So I kind of believe in New Year's resolutions to an extent. For me, it was more of the, like, you need a motivation to change. And I think like a brand new season, brand new year, everything's kind of just fresh in your mind, do something, kind of has that kind of ring to it. I just do it for me, and it's something to reflect upon and see where I'm going about in my life, because I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just kind of one day at a time, right?
Yeah. And I think that's important to mention is that it is for us, it's for you. You can change it and evolve it and adapt it according to where you are, because like you said, sometimes your goals may change as you get older or whatnot, and that's okay.
I don't know, it's difficult, because like anytime you broadcast to the world, I'm doing this because I want to do this, you have to follow up with that. Otherwise, it becomes less about you doing it and you more about telling people you're doing it. And I'm guilty of that. I have like 15 projects that I've started, and I tell people that I'm starting this because if I don't, then I'm a liar, and I don't want to be a liar, so I have to just do it. Right?
Like what everybody has been saying, if you have goals, do them. Like, you know, set them and do them. You don't have to wait until the new year to do them, but if sometimes it adds an extra push because it is like a brand new start in terms of like, I guess it's the first of the month. So maybe that might be helpful, but it shouldn't be used as an excuse to be like, oh, you know, I'll just wait until the new year. I make lists. I like lists, like writing things that I want to do or need to do down on paper, because then that way I'm a check things off the list
Feels
kind of
so
person. Yeah. So for me, it's like when I write it down, it's like, like I kind of have to get it done. Sometimes I will push them back and forth. Like, I mean, in terms of like, oh, you know, I'll maybe add a few more days to it, but I'll get it done kind of thing, and then I'll check it off and I'll feel really good. But yeah, I use a bullet journal.
So, okay, Vicky said something cool. She said that she has a to-do list, but she does it in her way, which is like
Yes.
bullet points. And I think that's really important because everybody has their own unique way of doing it, right?
Yeah,
I
exactly.
have no idea what bullet points is, but it sounds dope. I think you showed me once, right?
Yeah.
You showed me this book, and it's like a really organized method of doing it.
The way for me.
Yeah,
the way that works for me.
For
Yeah.
her
Yeah.
specifically.
Exactly.
I'm not like that, but I play a lot of not a lot of video games, but I love RPGs. So I set it up where I have like this corkboard in my room, right? And like if you can imagine it, right? In the middle I have main quests and I have all my stuff down here for like things that I need to get done absolutely. Then I have side quests over here, which is like all the stuff that I can do and all the stuff that I can get done, but it's not like on the main mission, right? And then I have bounties, which is like I'm a freelancer in a lot of the cases, so it's stuff that I can just kind of do on the side to kind of make some extra money. But it's like, I don't have to do those. Those are things I can just cash in and just kind of do. You know what I mean? But like, I think it's important.
That's
like,
awesome, yeah.
to have like different kinds of ways to do something.
Exactly.
But anyway, the point is a to-do list of some kind, whether it's bullet points or like as a video game layout of some kind is, however you choose to do it, make it fun and make
It's
it a way
different
that
for everybody,
and make it a way that excites you. you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to come on an adventure and I'll show you guys my mind map? So this is what I do when I get a really big idea. So this is my fun like foam board that I made with wallpaper that I had left over. So I make like a mind map with like main things I need to do and then like just like shoot off things from it. So this is like the latest project I worked on. I put the idea in the middle and then I sort of like do all the main things and then I just have all my shoot offs. So this is what my brain looks like. Like it's really messy and colorful, but like it's all on paper.
When this year first started, I thought that this was the year that everything was gonna change. I was gonna figure my life out and all the little missing pieces were gonna fall into place. I thought this was the year that I was gonna break out of this never-ending transition phase. I was gonna get the job, I was gonna find the girl, I was gonna get six-pack abs, and I was gonna rule the world. None of that happened. And for a while, I was really sad about that. It's all smiles and pictures and at parties and dinners, but I wasn't sure I liked what I saw when I looked in the mirror. By the end of the year, I hadn't accomplished my goals. I was unemployed and I was still alone. I had fat on my stomach and no one knew who I was. I wasn't special. There was no applause. I am but glass. Is anyone there? They look straight at me, but just like the air, I pass through their lives, invisible to eyes, but hit me, I break, and believe me, I've tried. I wrote those words on a lonely night, when I was down and it just seemed right. But today, I take another look at my year, and I swallow my pride and I push away those fears. This year, I made new friends that I truly adore. I've lived and learned and am more experienced than before. I've made people laugh and cry and smile. I've done a lot that makes this year worthwhile. I love my family, my home, my friends. I love the fact that in the end, this year was nothing more than a step. No more tears and no regrets. Our lives are not contained in a year. So keep on dreaming, you'll get there. Keep on dreaming because those dreams are where you'll find the passion and be prepared. Your life doesn't end when the clock strikes 12. You have now until forever to live well. Forget about the mistakes and the fails. The details aren't important in the overall tale. If at the end of the year there is love, those are the years that I will dream of. Hi, my name is Eric Chan, and I am imperfect. And I'm cool with that.